Caitlin isn't just great for women's basketball. She is great for the entire game. She's more than just points.
She absolutely is. I mean, let's not forget, this is a young woman who led the nation in assists as well. She's accomplished records that haven't ever been accomplished in the sport of collegiate basketball.
Imagine a coach who's been keeping a close eye on your every move, studying your game, and giving you praise even before you hit the WNBA court. For Caitlin Clark, that coach could very well be Stephanie White. But what does Caitlin really think about Coach Steph now that there's a chance she could become her new coach?
But I noticed that the first person that you greeted from the Connecticut team was actually head coach Stephanie White.
In an honest moment, Caitlin Clark shared her real thoughts about Coach Stephanie White, and her words were unexpected. Could this be the perfect match that brings a championship to Indiana, or is there more to the story than we realize? In this video, we'll dive into White's potential to become the next head coach of the Fever, explore her relationship with Caitlin Clark, and reveal what Clark truly thinks about Coach White. Get ready for some eye-opening insights that might just change the future of the WNBA. Before we get started, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Let's dive in.
Former Hawkeye Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever will have a new head coach next season. The organization announced they have parted ways with Christy Sides after 2 years.
There are now 6 WNBA teams without a coach, and the Indiana Fever just added themselves to the list. The WNBA coaching scene is in a bit of a shake-up, with teams looking for new leadership, and the Fever have joined the search. On October 27, 2024, the team decided to part ways with head coach Christy Sides after just 2 seasons. Despite leading the team to a playoff appearance in her final year, Sides finished with a 33-47 record, and her time with the Fever came to an unexpected end.
And Christy Sides has been fired. She is out as the Indiana Fever coach. So here we go with this.
At first, the decision might seem confusing. Christy Sides had brought a fresh energy and unity to a young Fever team. The players looked more connected, and their time on the court reflected that chemistry. Fans had started to rally behind the team, feeling optimistic about the future. Even team president Kelly Krakoff, in her latest press conference, praised Sides for keeping the team's energy up, despite the challenges of the season.
The way that they weathered the storm, got into a groove, after the Olympic break. I mean, I think she finished 18-12, after those first 10 games, and then, of course, went 7-4 in the last 11, and 3 of those losses were against teams in the finals. So for a young team to make that kind of progress, I mean, it's hard to not be impressed.
So why make the change now? The decision has sent shockwaves through the WNBA community, sparking a wide range of reactions. Some fans are in total disbelief, while others fully support the move. Social media has been buzzing with debates. Some argue that Sides deserved more time to build on her progress, while critics point to her struggles with defensive strategies and in-game adjustments as reasons for the change, especially if the Fever want to win now. But there's another factor that can't be ignored: Caitlin Clark. The arrival of a player of her caliber brings huge pressure and high expectations. Coaching a generational talent like Clark is a double-edged sword. On one hand, you have a superstar who can elevate the entire team. On the other, every move is closely watched and every decision gets scrutinized. The challenge is to harness Clark's abilities while also developing the rest of the team, something that requires not only great basketball knowledge but also the skill to manage egos, media attention, and the weight of a franchise's hopes. Sides' departure suggests the Fever's front office feels a new voice is needed to guide the team through this new era with Caitlin Clark.
Everybody in this company's all in. Everybody in this city's all in. So I really feel like we're poised and we're set up for a great, successful next era of Fever basketball.
But there's more to this story than meets the eye. The coaching change is just one part of a much bigger picture. The Fever have gone through a major front office overhaul, with Kelly Krakoff returning as president of basketball operations and Amber Cox stepping in as general manager. Krakoff didn't hold back when discussing the coaching change, saying, "While decisions like these are never easy, it's also crucial that we stay bold and assertive in our pursuit of our goals, like maximizing our talent and bringing another WNBA championship back to Indiana." The message is clear: the Fever aren't just aiming for the playoffs, they're focused on winning it all, and they believe a new coach is key to reaching that goal. This decision represents a turning point for the franchise. The Fever are setting themselves up for a serious push toward championship contention. The pieces are in place for a major transformation, but there's one key element still missing: the right coach. The Fever need someone who can handle the spotlight, develop young talent, and create a system that taps into the unique strengths of players like Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and experienced veterans like Kelsey Mitchell and Lexi Hull. They need a coach who can manage the pressure of a win-now mentality while also fostering long-term growth. As the search for a new coach heats up, one name has emerged as a strong contender, someone with a deep connection to Indiana's basketball history and a vision for its future.
Whoever takes this job is either going to be, you're either going to be criticized, maybe wrongfully, but criticized more than any other coach. But if you succeed, you are the GOAT coach. Like, if somebody wins 3 rings with Caitlin Clark, and let's just say Cheryl Reeve has won 4 with Maya Moore, whoever wins 3 rings with Caitlin Clark is going to be considered the best coach of all time.
Indiana basketball runs deep, and one coach's journey might be coming full circle, from player to analyst to coach of the year. Her path has led her right back to where it all began. But here's the big question. Can she unlock Caitlin Clark's full potential and bring glory back to Indiana? The name on everyone's mind is Stephanie White, a coach whose ties to Indiana basketball are as strong as the state's passion for the game. White's connection to Indiana isn't just professional, it's personal. Born and raised in West Lebanon, Indiana, just an hour and a half from Indianapolis, she's not only familiar with the state's basketball culture, she's lived and breathed it her entire life.
There was a lot of conversation regarding Stephanie White. Now, Stephanie White has played in the WNBA. She was an assistant on the Indiana Fever when they won the championship with the great Tamika Catchings in 2012. And she also was the head coach for the organization before moving to the NCAA and finally returning to the WNBA with the Connecticut Sun.
Stephanie White's journey with the Indiana Fever started as a player, wearing the team's jersey from 2000 to 2004. But it was her transition to coaching that truly highlighted her basketball brilliance. In 2015, White became the Fever's head coach, and what followed was remarkable. In her very first season, she led the team to the WNBA Finals, showing that her deep understanding of the game easily translated from player to coach. She had also been an assistant when the Fever won the championship under Lynn Dunn's leadership. After her time with the Fever, White took her talents to the college ranks, where she honed her coaching skills and developed her own philosophy. Just when it seemed like she might be stepping away from the WNBA, fate brought her back. White became head coach of the Connecticut Sun, where her coaching abilities reached new heights. Over 2 seasons, she posted an impressive 55-25 record, showing she knew how to maximize talent and implement effective strategies. Her efforts earned her the title of WNBA Coach of the Year in 2023, cementing her place as one of the league's top coaching minds. Now, with her recent departure from the Connecticut Sun, a potential reunion with the Indiana Fever is on the table. What makes White such an exciting candidate for the Fever's head coach? It's not just her Indiana roots or her past success with the team, it's her coaching philosophy and approach, which have both fans and experts buzzing about how well she could fit with the Fever.
Yeah, it's exciting. Certainly I was born and raised in Indiana, and so have a lot of pride in Indiana basketball, and a lot of pride in the Fever organization, being a player and a coach there. And it's exciting what's happening with the organization and where they are. I mean, most organizations have their ups and downs, certainly. But I'm proud of the growth of the Indiana Fever. Excited, about the future of the Indiana Fever.
White's approach to coaching focuses on patience and player development, 2 key elements for a young team on the brink of greatness. Her offensive system, which proved highly successful with the Connecticut Sun, could be the perfect fit for the Fever's current roster. Imagine Caitlin Clark, with her incredible court vision and scoring ability, fully unleashed in a system designed to highlight those skills. But here's where it gets even more interesting. In a league where some veterans have been quick to doubt or criticize Clark, White has been a strong advocate for the young star. During Clark's rookie season, when others were ready to write her off, White remained steadfast in her belief in Clark's potential. In a candid moment that surprised many, White publicly defended Clark, making it clear she had full confidence in her abilities.
When I'm, looking at all these things that people are talking about with Caitlin Clark, it's like, guys, chill out. Like, she's gonna be fine. Like, it's 2 games in. Are you kidding me? She's a student of the game. She got better every year. You're not going to just absorb all of the new information that's coming at you in 2 games, in 2 weeks. It takes time. And she will. I have no doubt about it. She's a student of the game. She continues to get better. And these are also points that coaches then address. Hey, let's continue to work on this.
This wasn't just coach talk or empty praise. It was a seasoned professional recognizing the immense talent and potential in a young player, even when others were quick to judge. White's support for Clark wasn't a one-time thing. Throughout Clark's college career and into her early pro days, White has consistently praised her basketball IQ, work ethic, and game-changing abilities. This ongoing admiration shows that White doesn't just see Clark as a talented player, but as a key piece upon which a championship team could be built. The idea of pairing White with Clark has fans and analysts dreaming of championship parades in Indianapolis. White's offensive brilliance, combined with Clark's extraordinary skills, could form a dynamic duo capable of transforming WNBA basketball. But it's not just about basketball strategy. White's deep emotional connection to Indiana basketball adds an extra layer of meaning to this potential reunion.
Caitlin Clark is just at the epitome of the intersection of social media, of pop culture, and fan engagement in a way that we've never seen, and she's moving the needle forward for all athletes.
In a recent interview, White's love for her home state was clear as she said, "I was born and raised in Indiana and have a lot of pride in Indiana basketball." For White, this isn't just a job opportunity, it's a chance to return home and build something special with a franchise she holds dear. As the Fever's coaching search heats up, the possibility of White's return to Indiana has sparked excitement among fans. The idea of a partnership between White and Caitlin Clark is being seen as a match made in basketball heaven, a pairing that could not only bring championships to Indiana but also potentially change the entire landscape of the WNBA.
Let's continue to play to our strengths. Let's find different ways to get the ball to our players. And then when we get time in the offseason, then we'll work on that next step or that next level.
Amidst all the excitement and speculation, there's one important question still hanging. We've heard what White thinks about Clark, but what does Caitlin Clark really think about coach Stephanie White? As the Fever's new centerpiece and face of the franchise, Clark's opinion will carry a lot of weight. Her thoughts on White could be the final piece in the puzzle that determines the Fever's coaching future, and, by extension, the direction of the franchise for years to come. If you've made it this far and are enjoying the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We appreciate you taking the time to watch. Now, let's get back to it.
She's obviously called a lot of my games all throughout college, and I just think she has a really great basketball mind. I think she's done a great job calling college games. It's been great to see her on NBA games.
Caitlin Clark is known for her diplomacy when it comes to basketball opinions. She's a pro at offering the polite nod and non-committal response. But something about Stephanie White seems to have gotten through that carefully crafted facade. What could have prompted Clark to break her silence and speak so openly about a potential coach? As the Fever's new franchise cornerstone, Clark's voice carries significant weight. Any coaching decision would likely need her approval, a responsibility that comes with being a generational talent, one Clark doesn't take lightly. In a league where many veterans have questioned her abilities, her true feelings about potential coaches have remained a closely guarded secret.
I think that's going to be a lot of fun for the both of us.
Most WNBA players and coaches have kept their thoughts on Caitlin Clark close to the chest, offering measured praise but also some skepticism about her transition to the pro game. This cautious approach has left fans and analysts wondering, does Clark share those same reservations about the coaches being considered for the Fever's top job? Normally, Clark stays silent on these matters. She's built a reputation for staying above the fray, offering diplomatic responses that don't give much away about her true feelings. This strategy has allowed her to focus on her game without getting caught up in unnecessary drama. But in an unexpected turn, Clark broke her usual silence and spoke openly about Stephanie White's basketball acumen.
I think what she's done is she's obviously, she's been a trailblazer, honestly. I think she's always been somebody that's been supportive of my game, and it's been fun to talk to her at shoot-arounds throughout my college career and always been really supportive.
The mutual admiration between Caitlin Clark and Stephanie White has the basketball world buzzing with speculation. Could this shared respect be the foundation for a powerful player-coach partnership? As the Fever continue their coaching search, the possibility of White's return to Indiana feels more real, especially with Clark's apparent endorsement. With these pieces seemingly falling into place, a potential homecoming could reshape the future of the franchise. But, as always in professional sports, nothing is certain until the contracts are signed. The big question remains, will this mutual respect translate into on-court success, or is there more to this story than meets the eye? While the ink on contracts might not be dry yet, the Fever's ambitions are clear. Respect between a coach and star is essential, but it takes more than admiration to build a dynasty. What's the missing piece that could take Indiana from playoff contenders to championship favorites? Make no mistake, the Fever aren't just looking for a coach, they're chasing a championship. With a roster full of young talent and seasoned veterans, the Fever are sitting on a powder keg of potential.
This is about the Indiana Fever. Yes, we have a foundational player in Caitlin Clark and Leah Boston, and we're going to continue to add to that. But I want this team to be the leader in the country.
But as their first-round playoff sweep at the hands of the Connecticut Sun painfully showed, potential alone doesn't win championships. The Fever's early exit revealed some significant weaknesses that need to be addressed if they want to compete for the WNBA's ultimate prize. Their defense, in particular, has been a major issue, often struggling to contain high-powered offenses in key moments. While team chemistry has improved, it still lacks the cohesion seen in championship-caliber teams. This is where the right coach can make all the difference. The Fever need someone who can develop a system that maximizes Caitlin Clark's incredible offensive skills while also improving the team's defensive capabilities. They need a leader who can make those crucial in-game adjustments that turn close losses into hard-fought wins. Most importantly, they need a coach who can take this group of individual talents and turn them into a unified team capable of thriving under the pressure of playoff basketball.
The Fever believe they need a new voice on the sideline in order to get to that next step, to that championship level, which they're not playing around with. Clearly, they're taking it very seriously.
But even the best coach can't win championships without the right players on the court. This is where the Fever's front office, led by newly appointed President Kelly Krakoff and General Manager Amber Cox, steps in. With significant cap space available, Indiana is in a strong position to make moves in free agency. Their goal is clear: complement their young core with experienced players who can elevate the team's overall competitiveness. One name making waves in WNBA circles is Sutta Sabali from the Dallas Wings. Her versatility and two-way play could be exactly what the Fever need to strengthen their defense while adding another scoring option. Natasha Howard, with her championship experience and defensive skills, could provide the veteran leadership and rim protection Indiana has been missing. However, before the Fever can target these high-profile free agents, they have some important in-house decisions to make. Kelsey Mitchell, a cornerstone of the franchise, is also entering free agency. Retaining her is critical, not just for her on-court production but also for the continuity and chemistry she brings to the team. Her scoring ability and experience are invaluable as the Fever work to build a championship-caliber roster around Clark and Aaliyah Boston.
Yes, we are. We're definitely in a position, and I would think that if you are a smart basketball player and you watch the way she plays, you would want to play with her.